everybody. You ever wish cleaning your guns was easier? Clean, lube, and protect your guns with Seal One. Seal One CLP Plus is natural, non-toxic, and environmentally friendly. Clean your guns easier and faster. You'll also smell so better. And something your wife will appreciate. One and done with Seal One. Ask for it by name at your local gun shop or get some on their website. Seal1.com. That's Seal, the number 1.com.
We're here with Dick Heller, as in Heller versus D.C., extremely important Second Amendment decision from the Supreme Court. Okay, so we're waiting on another Supreme Court decision that has to do with guns that could be tomorrow, could be a week from tomorrow, but most people believe that it's going to be it's coming here in June. What are your thoughts on that?
It'll probably, if they follow their pattern, it'll be the last day and the last week of the session. And from what I was hearing, listening on broadcast of the hearing back on November the 3rd, what we found was the New York attorney, I guess she was the attorney general or assistant deputy attorney general, she made some very disingenuous statements, and Alito caught her on it. And they were asking the kinds of questions that said, well, why not this, why not that, which sort of puts us in a rather maybe narrowly tailored position, but sort of pro-Second Amendment, because Alito is very pro-Second Amendment. As a matter of fact, in the Massachusetts Caetano stun gun case, he wrote a separate opinion called a concurring opinion, where he put in there the phrase, anything that you used to protect your life cannot be unconstitutional. Interestingly, to show that laws might change but principles don't change, that is almost word for word what Marcus forgot his name. Marcus Cicero said 50 years before Christ. He said nearly the same thing. He said nothing to protect your life is immoral.
So you think that you think the decision is going to go our way, and you think it's going to? I think it'll probably change firearms, carry the way that your case changed ownership. Don't you think?
It has to some effect, but you just never know.
That's a fact. You never know.
You don't know, and unless there's some spies like the lefties in the abortion release, everything is honorable and kept close to the chest until the time to release, until the release date.
So let me ask you a couple questions. We actually got a couple questions for you. Action Jackson, 9 years old, shoots every week. He's got a question for you, Dick.
Certainly.
What's your favorite gun?
Good question.
Very good question. It's the question, Jackson, that I ask everyone. I am an instructor, so I think the best instructors start off with a revolver for their students. So my favorite gun, of course, by the way, I don't use 9 millimeters. I use 22s, and then I have a gun that shoots both 22s and changeable cylinders, uses magnums, and it has almost the same muzzle energy, I call it horsepower, as a 9 millimeter without all the recoil and the artillery noise. So I train all my students on revolvers and 22s, and my favorite gun is my $1 million Supreme Court gun, of course.
Yeah, the one that you were describing earlier.
Yes.
Okay, so do you what are your thoughts on California? I don't know how to put this, and maybe you don't have an answer, and that's okay. But I think a lot of people kind of wonder, like, well, gee, the Heller thing happened in 2008. McDonald happened in 2010, saying, hey, you gotta apply the Heller decision against the states, and here we are in California 10 years later, and it feels like things are worse than they were. Do you think about that much, or what are your thoughts on that?
I do. It just so happens that, are you all familiar with Alan Alexander Beck in San Diego?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, you've got one of the two brightest minds on the Second Amendment, in my opinion, and he chats with my other lawyer here in Virginia, William J. Olson, and with a team like that, you have the best counsel on the planet. So he's the perfect one to ask your questions of.
Yeah, well, and we're working our way through, and of course, we Gun Owners Radio. I work for and run San Diego County Gun Owners, and we have cases against our assault weapons ban and against our pistol roster and against the under 21. We have 5 lawsuits rolling here. And I don't think any of that would have happened without your case, without the Heller versus DC case. I think we'd all still be kind of hoping and praying, and there'd still be this ridiculous argument. Which, by the way, what are your thoughts on that? Before Heller, there was an absolute, argument from the other side saying, "Hey, there's no individual right. They were talking about a collective right, and as long as we have the National Guard." Then civilians don't have to own firearms.
I have the answer for that. Most people don't pay much attention to Miller, and I read as much as I can, and I never thought much of Miller. But then you have a case there in California, Virginia Duncan, against the
Mags, sure.
Attorney General. Are you familiar with that case?
Yeah, I know her actually personally, and the normal capacity mag case, absolutely.
I'd like to meet her. But anyway, we have a brief to the Supreme Court supporting her certiorari. So to get her case heard in the Supreme Court. And in this brief with the Heller Foundation name on the front, by the way, you should read that by Bill Olson. The Miller Court had no misunderstanding of the purpose of the Second Amendment. And they cited an 1840 case which explains exactly why military-grade weapons are critical in the hands of civilians.
Yep.
To protect the public liberty and to keep in awe those who are in power and to maintain the supremacy of the laws and the Constitution.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Dick. I just want to, for the audience, the Miller case was the decision that actually allowed to, like, for example, ban short-barreled shotguns. They said, hey, you know what, we should be able to ban this. But the interesting thing, and what you're bringing up here, which I always thought was very interesting too, is the reason they can ban short-barreled shotguns is because they don't serve a military purpose. And basically saying, hey, that's the reason for the Second Amendment, right?
That is the reason for the Second Amendment. And having lived in Europe and walked through some of the warfare trenches, I can't think of a better trench warfare gun than a sawed-off shotgun.
Well, I agree there. But the principle, what you're saying is, I think a lot of the anti-gunners have used Miller against the pro-Second Amendment folks. But I think it should be flipped right on its ear. It's actually a very pro-Second Amendment decision, even though it resulted in banning short-barreled shotguns. Now, once your decision came out and the other side flipped and said, "Oh, no, we always knew it was an individual right, but we can still restrict it severely," what were your thoughts on that?
That's what they do. As soon as we walked outside the Supreme Court and we were in front of the microphones and we had our 10 minutes, great day for America, and great day for the citizens of D.C. and all that, then the mayor of D.C., Mayor Fenty, gets on his soapbox and he said, well, you have your guns, and he's all puckered up like he's just sucking on a lemon. He says, but we have gun control, in a very snarly way. And look, I was just a neophyte. I didn't know anything. I said, oh, my God, what just happened? We won, and now we get this. What does that mean? And it went downhill again. And then that's so 1 month later, we had to file Heller 2.
Yeah. And what's the purpose of the Heller Foundation?
We are fundraising and try to be a little educational.
Mm-hmm.
or our next cases. As soon as the New York case is released, we've got a couple more.
Yeah.
That decision will sort of help us determine which direction we go in our next lawsuit.
And I think one of the other things about the New York decision, the Kerry decision, is it's going to dictate how courts look at Second Amendment cases from here on out. And we're hoping that they basically stick to the text, right? Is that the idea?
Well, here's what I like to say. Governments will eliminate bad guys' guns as effectively as they've eliminated bad guys pushing drugs.
Yeah.
You can't disarm the good guys and leave the bad guys running the country. And what I say, my new soundbite is, if I think I sent it just to if I can remember it, to Thomas Massey today. I said, Thomas Massey, please tell the council, the House, that have AOC and Pelosi go down into the city and deliver a gun registration form to the Crips and the Bloods, and then come back and talk to me.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to work out. That's funny. Well, Dick, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for doing what you did to make that case happen. I know it was a huge sacrifice. It sounds like you found your calling in life, which is wonderful, but I know it was an enormous sacrifice, but I can't tell you how valuable and important it was to the rest of the country. Thank you for coming on and talking to us, Dick.
Certainly, my pleasure.
The definition. Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.